Okay, folks, we'll call the meeting to order, 7:38 p.m., Wednesday, December 3rd.
Councilwoman Selby,
Present.
Councilman Kardakini,
Not present.
Supervisor Keating,
Present.
Councilwoman Lukacic,
Not present.
Councilwoman Martin.
Present.
Councilwoman Selby, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, folks, we do have one preliminary matter. We try to keep these off the agenda, but we did have a proposal for the generator that's over at the Trooper Barracks sent over to us. Originally, it was sent to a state trooper who sadly is no longer with the Trooper Barracks next door, which is why the delay was there. But the issue is that there's work that needs to be done because the radiator has a leak. The hoses are deteriorated. It needs a bypass cap and some other things. So without further ado, to get this taken care of for our troopers, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-107, which is authorizing an agreement to repair the Trooper Barracks generator and authorizes the supervisor to execute the contract with Penn Power Systems for the amount not to exceed $7,439.54.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, that's it for our preliminary matters tonight. Moving on, item number 2 is our regular business. The first item is the correction and adoption of the minutes from the November 19th, 2025 meeting. And Councilwoman Selby, would you like to take that item tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. After reviewing the minutes from November 19th, 2025, I see no omissions or changes, and I'd like to make a motion to approve those minutes as written. I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, item number 2 under our regular business tonight is the consideration of all the fund bills. And Councilwoman Martin, would you like to take that item tonight?
Thank you, Supervisor. I had a moment to look over the abstract number 1, 2025 payables journal AP 5391, totaling the amount of $56,137.20. I make a motion to pay these invoices.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, moving on, our correspondence is item number 3. We only have one piece of correspondence tonight, and that's from Erie County for the Health Food Service Inspection Report. And the town did very well, and there's no violations or citations noted. And that's on file with the town clerk's office. Moving on to item number 4 for our new business. As always, our request from the floor. If anyone would like to come up to the microphone, the floor is now open. Please state your name and address, and please keep it to 3 minutes per conversation. The floor is now open.
Good evening. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. My name is Roy McLean. I'm on Pin Oak Drive. Not related to prior things I brought up, but the battery energy storage system and the discussion I think you're going to have later around whatever it is, Law 104. I read through that today, and I'm a little bit confused because the definition of a battery energy storage system is so broad and so vague that it covers many things that people already have in their homes and probably bought this week during Black Friday.
Yep.
In fact, the only exceptions are a 12-volt standalone car battery or an electric car.
Absolutely right.
So the UPSs you all probably have under your desks next to your computer, those would be non-12-volt batteries attached to the system, rechargeable energy systems. The battery, like the Jackery boxes that many people have to back up, that's also included in that. The sump pump battery, like we have to have on Pin Oak to back up when the power goes out, those would also be included in this. So before you go passing any more laws or moratoriums or anything around this, you need to have a more defined battery energy storage system definition. Today, it's so broad, you cover many, many things that are already out there in the community, common items that people buy. In addition to that, there are things like Generac wall systems, Tesla wall systems, and so forth that are widely adopted across the whole country. They're very safe. They're very common. There's experts that know how to install them, just like there are for many other battery backup and home generator solutions. Those would be included in this as well.
Correct.
So before we do anything silly, we should probably consider that this definition needs to be refined more carefully. so that people can use those things which they're already accustomed to having and will want to install more often going forward as those technologies become cheaper. So just like to know where that lands. And if this moratorium, is this the second one, I believe? It's already been kicked down the road once. I'm all for making sure we don't do anything wrong on a commercial scale, large solar farms, large battery storage systems. I'm not a fan of those until someone can show me some better stats on them. But I think if we're going to do that and move it down the road, what exact actions are you going to take over the next 6 months to be in a better position to make that choice? Is there more information we need, experts to be brought in, or whatever it might be? I'd like to hear what those things are before we just arbitrarily say 6 months. But thank you.
No, thank you. Kudos for doing your homework. It's good. It's good. Nobody else. Deputy Miller, it's all yours, sir.
Pretty short and sweet tonight. We've had one of the lowest amount of calls all year. We've had 84 calls, 27 traffic stops. We had 8 accidents. 2 stolen cars were recovered, and a total of 4 arrests. East Aurora passed a law recently about e-bikes, kind of asking our towns to try to get on board or go to the county and come up with something, because we're having more and more problems every year. As last year we had a fatality and multiple accidents with e-bikes. One was involving a 15-year-old girl that was, I think, hit by a semi and a school bus, and so a large vehicle. That was up in Clarence, but we've had issues down here, and without something on the law with them, it's tough for us to enforce. East Aurora put a seizure law into their law, so it starts off as fines and so on, and then the next one is like a seizure of the bike. Obviously, we would have discretion. Go talk to a parent at first and say, hey, your kid's 12 years old, he's cutting across traffic on Boston State Road and causing accidents or whatever the case may be, and then go from there. But just some food for thought to bring up before it gets to that busy season. I'd appreciate it, and I can send you information if you need it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Richard.
Richard Hawkins,
If I can pause you
6892
for 1 second.
Oak Drive.
Rich, if I can pause you for 1 second. I just have to do the public hearing
Go ahead.
for the Banner Stores. We'll definitely bring you back up. You'll be next. All right. So we're going to jump down to new business for the public hearing, which Mr. McLean had spoken about. And this public hearing reads as follows. And this is an extension, just as Mr. McLean had stated. So this notice is hereby given that the public hearing will be held by the Town Board of the Town of Boston, 3rd day of December 2025, 7:35 p.m. at the Boston Town Hall, 8500 Boston State Road, New York, on the adoption of a proposed local law entitled Adopting a Local Law Extending it for an Additional 6 months on a moratorium prohibiting the review and approval of applications and issuance of permits for battery energy storage systems in the town of Boston, an abstract of which as follows. The proposed local law would extend by a period of 6 months or until amended by local law concerning battery energy storage systems is passed, a moratorium on the permitting and construction of any battery energy devices and or buildings within the town of Boston to allow the town board to consider appropriate revisions or amendments to the town code concerning the same. The complete text of the said law is on file at the office of the town clerk and is available to review by any interested person during business hours. At such public hearing, all persons interested will be heard by order of the Town of Boston Town Board, Sandra L. Quinlan, Town Clerk. Public hearing is now open. If anybody has any questions, comments regarding the proposed law, it was in the board packet. It is available in Town Clerk's office, and if I may, since everybody that's in the room right now heard what Mr. McLean had addressed, NYSERD, the New York State Energy organization, they have a model battery energy storage code, just like they do for solar. So this will address, just like Mr. McLean said, small wall packs, the Tesla wall packs that you put in your garage that you use to offset the power. The Jackery boxes, the kind of the common phrases. Anchor is another common brand. Black Friday deals that are out there. Your secondary level, you start to get into where you can stack those, or what's called daisy chaining them to build on additional capacity. This local code and law will pertain to those. Then you start getting into the larger scale. That's where you start talking about the ones that look like shipping containers, the ones that are, in some cases highly controversial, but respectfully, they're also a need, especially with today's energy demands. So anyway, this will be a comprehensive code, just like our solar code. It summarizes a lot of what's in here, but it isn't in process, and one of the reasons that we're extending it, and I just want to go on record explaining why we're extending it, is because we do have a solar code, and there's a proposed solar project that is currently in litigation that I cannot give details on, but we want to see how that litigation plays out before we go and adopt the code for batteries and then have to go back and redo the whole process all over again. So that's why we're extending it, just to put it on record so you all hear kind of a united message here. But if you would like to come out, I don't want to hold this up any further. Please feel free to come up to the microphone. The public hearing is now open. No. You're good. You got good information.
Well, yeah, so I guess the solar piece is the same. Maybe just further clarification of exactly what is, in what counts. Because I think there's a lot of consumer product that's available now. Many people have those battery backup things, and they have a fold-out solar panel that goes with it.
Yep.
And they can be 200, 400, 1,200 watts, right?
Yep.
I would hate to blop them in with the rest of commercial solar where we're covering a whole field.
It would not be.
Right, so just that needs to be defined.
Great point.
I've tried to read through the solar stuff. I don't see where the minimum requirements.
You are correct in the solar. If you look at the battery energy storage, that's where I was using. You said it very well. So when you look at the smaller battery packs, that I'll call it the Tesla wall packs that you can put into your garage, that's more of the smaller size units that you're referring to. Then you get into like the home units. If you have like a solar array, and then you have your battery auxiliary backup, that would be a secondary because I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. I'd have to look at the packet that I have on my desk. But if you have, let's say, 3 of those banks stacked up and you're storing energy, let's say your power goes out, you can sustain 3, 4, 5 days worth of energy. That's that level 2. That level 3, then that's where you get into more of the commercial side of things. But a lot of that's already determined by the model energy battery BESS, Battery Energy Storage Systems model code by NYSERDA.
Gotcha.
So they have
in our content, right? So in the town's law, though, it's very, very vague and doesn't have that kind of definition.
We have nothing yet.
Right.
That's
so
what this is
I'm just asking
for.
that we get let's get a handle on that because we need to separate residential, systems that you put on the roof versus I want to put a solar power panel on my shed roof to power the light bulb that's inside. Right. Those are really different things, but right now those are actually the same thing.
Yes. If you look at our solar code, the solar code also modeled after NYSERDA's. It does pertain to exactly what you're saying. So that residential, there's folks in this room, I'll say, that have solar. There's a code for that, but then if you wanted to go, large scale solar project like the one that's being proposed over on Fedek Road, we'll go down that road. That's a whole other set of criteria that falls into that.
Gotcha. So maybe I need to look at it more closely because I couldn't see the difference between what's considered maybe consumer at the moment, which is evolving continuously and getting more.
If you want, I
interesting.
can drop you an email.
That'd be great.
I know I'll get your email. I can send you NYSERDA's
That'd be perfect.
model.
Right?
Yep.
So that, and then you mentioned the Anchor and some other manufacturers are making these stackable systems where you might start out with a small system and you spend a couple $1,000s on it to back up your computer or your refrigerator or whatever it might be, and you can stack more on top.
Yep.
Who's going to go to people's houses and check if they ordered one on Amazon, right? So there's a practicality there as well. Like, how are you going to enforce that?
Yeah.
It's silly to have code and go through all that stuff if you can't enforce it.
If it needs an electrical permit, that's where it falls into the code.
Yeah, those don't, right? So those
Correct.
wouldn't, right?
Correct.
So
right. But to your point, that's where they'll be classified. They'll be broken out in those categories. If it's a device or a fixture that needs an electrical permit, it will fall under that code. It'll be classified as such. So if that wall unit, because you need that transfer switch, you need a transfer switch to be able to switch over. You need an electrical inspection on that. So that will be, if you will, the checkbox that, okay, this is something that falls under the code. You need to get a
safe
permit.
to say anything without a transfer switch is okay?
Unless something changes by New York State, always
Okay,
subject
all
to
right,
change,
all right.
right? But to your exact point,
Yeah, I mean, that's
everything's
I think people
evolving.
want to know those kinds of
Yep.
things, right?
Yep.
And then again, like with any moratorium, I really like to understand what exactly is going to happen month by month over the 6-month period. What actions are going to be taken to put us in a better place in 6 months. Otherwise, we're just moving it down the road 6 months. And I know it takes research and time, but it would be good to hear what's going to happen this month or next month over that 6-month period, so we don't get to the end of the 6 month and go, hey, what happened? Did something happen? Did we do something?
Yeah.
Just like that to be visible and, you know.
NYSERDA's website will have all that. That's essentially will be modeled after.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Yep. You're welcome. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. With no other further comments, I'll close the public hearing at 7:53 p.m. All right, so jumping back to the open floor, Mr. Hawkins, you have the floor, sir.
Rich Hawkins, 6892 Pin Oak Drive. I wasn't going to get up tonight because the two people that I was hoping that would be here are absent, because I would like to just thank Jennifer and Mike for the work that they've done in the last few years of being councilmen in the town. There's a lot more to it than people realize there is. There's a lot more hours that's put into it and stuff, and I just wanted to thank them for their being a member and wanting to be involved in the town. Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none. All right. Request on the floor, which is our number one item under new business, is now closed. So we just did number 2, and now moving on to item number 3 under new business would be Resolution 2025-106, adoption of local law number 4, 2025, adopting a local law extending for an additional 6 months of a moratorium prohibiting the review and approval of applications and issuance of permits for battery energy storage systems in the town of Boston. I'll take this item. I'd like to make a motion to extend the moratorium. Moratoriums can only be extended under certain criteria. If you recall, we did the 12-month moratorium, and we're extending it based off of, like I said, the litigation earlier. So I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-106, adopting the local law extending additional 6-month moratorium.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating.
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. One more item under new business. Item number 4 is an application for use of facility from the Town of Boston Republican Party. Councilwoman Selby, would you like to take that item?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. We have an application from the Town of Boston Republican Party to have a ceremonial event on January 3rd, 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. takedown for our annual swearing in of our new officials. I'd like to make a motion to approve this application for use of facility.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating.
I just want to add, the town board did discuss waiving the $75 fee for that event. So, but yes.
Okay. Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, that is it for our new business. We have no old business reports and presentations. Councilwoman Selby, you have the floor.
I just want to commend our Erie County services here at senior service lunches that they provide here at the Town of Boston every day. They have a healthy lunch, and Erie County came in recently and did an inspection, checked all of our refrigerators, freezers, and we're in excellent shape. And I'd like to commend those ladies down there that work so hard and provide nutritious meals for our seniors. Looking forward to doing that someday when I get there. So thanks for their work. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Martin, you have the floor.
I have nothing to report. Thank you, Supervisor.
All righty. Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Thank you, Supervisor Keating. As everyone can see, the Town of Boston Sharing Tree is up and decorated in the Boston Town Hall lobby. It has been a very busy last couple of days for myself and my deputies. We did just receive the names of the kiddos yesterday evening. So we worked on those, getting those typed up and the gift list typed up and the tags done today. So the tags are available from my office, and there are also some that are on the sharing tree. Each tag has a boy or girl name, the age and wish list of this Town of Boston child waiting for Santa's helpers to choose a tag from the tree. I do ask that the residents please return the wrap gift with the tag attached to my office before Wednesday, December 17th. The gifts will be delivered to the families the 2 days the 2 days after that Wednesday of that same week. For more information, you can call my office, 941-6113. I am extension 5 on Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And I just want to thank the residents for always doing so much to take care of these kiddos. Right now, I do have 19 children, and they each have 3 tags.
Nice.
So, and the only other thing that I have is the Connect Life. This month it was a little bit lower. The initial numbers are there were 14 units collected, but that did help save the lives of 42 local patients. So, again, thank you to our community. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I just have a couple things. Actually, just wanted to kind of comment on Deputy Miller's comments about the e-bikes. Yes, if residents are not aware, e-bikes, I feel awful saying they're becoming an issue, but what I hear over and over again from my peers, from supervisors and mayors and other municipalities, is that when you're on an e-bike, keep in mind you need to adhere to the rules of the road. When you're out there, you if there's a stop sign, you should be stopping, e-bike or not, even a regular pedal bicycle. Take a look at New York State's laws on that. New York State does have guidance on e-bikes, I believe off the top of my head, over 30 miles per hour. This is some of what the town of Aurora had modeled. Town of Aurora, obviously, if you haven't seen it, they made the news on this local law. Some parents obviously were upset because if you're under the age of 16, town of Aurora, to Deputy Miller's point, if you're under the age of 16 and your teenager is found to be operating a bike without a helmet or has an infraction, they will impound the bike, and only the parent can come and collect the bike for a fee. So they're taking it pretty serious. But what is happening, I will share here in our town, we had someone on an e-bike that ran into a vehicle, and it's becoming an issue. Can't make these stories up. I mean, Deputy Miller's right. It's sad that we have to go down these paths and create more legislation and laws, but if that's what it takes to keep people safe, that seems like that's what we need to do. But it is a topic amongst the supervisor group, and just last night it's called the Association of Erie County Governments. That's supervisors and mayors. We get together every month at different locations all around Erie County, and that was a topic of discussion was e-bikes and also the e-scooters. That's another one that's out there. So please, if you have kids at home, anybody that's watching from home or live streaming, streaming this later on, please just have a conversation with your kids. Keep them safe. It's follow the rules of the road. Make sure your kids are have a head on a swivel and they're wearing a helmet. These e-bikes can go fast, 30 plus miles an hour. Some of these e-bikes can go over 80 miles an hour. That's a motor vehicle, and you're on 2 wheels. So please just keep that safe. Battery energy storage systems, yes, there will be more information forthcoming on that. But anybody would like to see kind of get an idea of there's nothing officially drafted yet, but what we're going to be modeling after, just like we did with our solar code, is the NYSERDA's battery energy storage system model code. That's what we're going to be using for that, and it does clearly bracket out each of those types of systems that are there. On the smaller systems, I mean, obviously if something changes, we'll probably end up adopting something down the road, but we'll see what happens in the future. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to call my office. I have been working with our code enforcement office and some others on that code, and once we get everything together, take the public feedback in, we'll be getting that new code adopted in local law. Phase 2 of water. Just want to give everybody an update on Phase 2 of water. I was hoping to get that, or we were hoping to get that out by the end of this year. We're looking like spring. Phase 2 of water, if you recall, I've said that this is on the back door of 2 miles of new water lines all across the town. And with that, the review by Erie County is taking longer than what we anticipated. It is what it is. So Erie County Water Authority has to finish their review, then it gets turned over to Erie County Department of Health for any comments or otherwise, then it gets bounced back to them, and then finally our municipal engineer. So hopefully we'll go out to Phase 2 in the early spring months. We're hoping to be ready for spring so we could break ground. So it's just where we're at with that project. And the only other thing I have to say is that, we've just been wrapping up an end of year, getting ready to welcome our 2 new board members onto the town board. And that's really all I have. So without further ado, I'll make a motion to end the meeting 8:02 p.m.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.